This is way better than we thought, as we have some major Cowboys updates on Trevon Diggs, along with the Cowboys signing back a popular wide receiver from preseason and training camp. We tell you who that is and the latest Cowboys news after the first game week practice of the season, right here on Cowboys Digest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning in to today's show. Lots to get to. An update on Trevon Diggs and his availability going forward, plus the Cowboys re-signing back someone they let go just a couple of days ago. We'll get you the latest, but before that, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 6,500 subscribers. We have been growing like crazy, over 1,400 gained over this past month, and we are going to continue building our Cowboys community here on YouTube throughout the entire 2025 season. So if you'd like to stick around and get daily Cowboys content, go down there, hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free. Let's talk about Trevon Diggs for a little bit. The Cowboys have gotten some more good news as he progresses towards a return to the lineup. The Cowboys, after knee surgery with Trevon Diggs, the expectation was for him to be somewhat ready at the start of the season. Well, when training camp started, it seemed like that was a little bit in question, and now he is officially on the 53-man roster. What is the latest? We start with the report here from Calvin Watkins of Dallas Morning News, and the first line is the important part in this. Starting quarterback Trevon Diggs said that he did everything in the first padded practice of the regular season on Sunday. Diggs, a surprise addition to the 53-man roster last week, is nearly fully recovered from knee surgery, end quote. Couple of things to break down there. Obviously, him being fully active at practice, doing everything with the pads on, is a very good sign. But with the knee, you want to be precautious, and obviously coming off the surgery, it's definitely something you don't want to push him back towards a return. When you honestly do feel confident with your quarterbacks with Deron Bland and Kaiir Elam, obviously, Siobhan Revel Jr., your third-round rookie, seems like he is not going to be able to play here, so he'll be back off probably for 4 weeks. But for Trevon Diggs, you'd want him back as soon as possible, but you don't want to get that into an injury position. And obviously, last season, he was one of your better quarterbacks when he was healthy. 11 games, 2 interceptions, 1 yard gain on the interception, 35 solo tackles. He is a very key part to this Dallas Cowboys roster. If you think about the entire cornerback room, it is a strength of Dallas Cowboys, especially when Deron Bland just got that new contract. Obviously, you have Trevon Diggs on a contract. It's a benefit to have both of them out there. They're ball-hawking guys, and it can lead to a ton of turnovers. At the same time, it's the first game of the season. You're playing against the defending Super Bowl champions, and you want to make sure that he is healthy, not just for that game, but for the entire season. So I don't know whether or not we'll see him in that first game, and that's kind of where we have here from Calvin Watkins of Dallas Morning News. Quote, whether Diggs plays in the regular season opener on Thursday night against the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles is uncertain. Now, that is uncertain. However, Trevon did talk to the media, and he gave us an update saying when he would return. This was the quote, no later than week 4, end quote. If you ask me, I think he'd probably be ready by week 2, fully ready. The problem with it is the coaches, and not to say that they're the problem, but they want him to be healthy. And the long-term success of the season and the long-term success of Trevon Diggs' career is by far more important than having him out there on week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles. So week 4 is the mark. I think it's specifically because if they didn't have that mark, guess what? It would have been kind of a dumb thing if they took him off the PUP list. You could have just left him on there and he wouldn't have had to have been a part of the 53-man roster, but they put him on the 53-man roster knowing that he can help this team out before week 4. And funny enough, you think about week 4, who do the Cowboys play that week? That would be Micah Parsons in the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, Trevon Diggs and Micah were very good friends, and it's going to be in Dallas. That is going to be a very big game. It'd be kind of fun to see him make his full return that game, although it kind of stinks. If you look at the schedule for the Dallas Cowboys here, the Eagles is really the main game that I would say would be a huge need, quote-unquote, for Trevon Diggs. Would I like it against New York and Chicago? Yes, they do have some good wide receivers, especially Chicago. You have Caleb Williams there. They can throw the ball. But I don't really believe that he is necessary for those 2 games, whereas I'd like to have him for Philadelphia when you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to worry about. And right now, guess what? The only guy you're going to be able to cover is one of those guys with Deron Bland. You're going to have to put Kaiir Elam on probably Devontae, but either way, they're going to be fine. It's just an unfortunate situation that the late of week 4 is great, but it's kind of hard. Updates on some injuries as well. I want to get to that to you. Calvin Watkins from Dallas Morning News kind of talking about the injury designations for this week, saying, quote, "The Cowboys received a scare in the early stages of Sunday's practice when defensive tackle Perrion Winfrey left during the early portion with what a person with knowledge of the injury told the Dallas Morning News was back tightness. Winfrey walked gingerly off the practice field during the individual period, causing a brief stir before team drills started," end quote. So that was the big major injury concern. However, we now know back tightness, and the best news probably of the entire day, Calvin Watkins again saying, quote, "Outside of Winfrey's health issue, every Cowboys player on the 53-man roster attended the open media period of practice," end quote. It was so important for this Dallas Cowboys team to be healthy. There was so much talk during the training camp and the regulars and preseason to be healthy, and that injuries have kind of plagued this team in the past, but now you have it where you are in a healthy spot going forward. You have every single guy on the docket ready to go and practicing here for the first game. Now, it's going to, injuries are fluid. They're going to happen throughout the season, but it's nice to know that you're going to go into the first week and do I want Perrion Winfrey to be healthy? Yeah, of course. I want everybody on the 53-man roster to be 100% healthy and participating. However, I don't think he's an intangible part of the defense at all, so I'm not really too worried about that case scenario. Now, we don't have our first injury designation report. That will come out, I believe, tomorrow, obviously today being a holiday, but I believe tomorrow we'll have our first official injury report as to, questionable, what injuries are happening, so make sure you're staying tuned in. We'll keep you updated with that as well. One more thing to get to in today's video, the Cowboys have made a roster move. If you saw the intro, you saw the thumbnail, you probably know who this is. The Dallas Cowboys have signed back wide receiver Ryan Flournoy to their practice squad to create room for Flournoy. They released guard Sadiq Charles. This was a move that happened a couple days ago to release Ryan Flournoy. It actually happened on the day of the Micah Parsons trade, so if you missed it, totally understandable. That's a thing you miss. They signed a offensive lineman from the Philadelphia Eagles to their official roster, so they had to release somebody. They ended up releasing Ryan Flournoy. He cleared waivers. The Cowboys wanted it back, so they released a guard and Sadiq Charles. So in theory, it's a 1-for-1 because you signed a guard, released a wide receiver, and then to get the wide receiver back on your practice squad, you release the guard. So it ends up working as a kind of swap in some aspects. But Ryan Flournoy had a great preseason and was a guy that people were really excited to see that he made the roster. He actually made the roster over Trayshawn Holden. Holden also on the practice squad as well, just to put that out there. And there was a kind of debate about whether Flournoy deserved the spot or Trayshawn Holden deserved the spot. Well, none of them got it, and they're both on the practice squad. But in the preseason, 7 receptions on 13 targets, 92 yards, a 13.1 receiving average is really, really, really good. Wide receiver room is at a very interesting spot for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll see what happens. I think they could easily pull up Ryan Flournoy at any point this season. If you want to fully know the information, in terms of practice squad, you can bring up 2 guys on the practice squad every single week. However, one singular person on the practice squad can only be called up 3 different times in the season. So Flournoy can be called up. However, it's going to be 1 of 3, and then at the third one, you either got to add him to the roster, he can't come up anymore. So kind of a catch-22 with that aspect. Well, it is game week, though, and I'm going to start a new tradition here on Cowboys Digest. Obviously, we're going to have a bunch of stuff going forward. I have hopefully a daily video on this channel. And I want to start asking our Cowboys question of the day. Just whether it's going to be about the team, whether it's about the game coming forward. I think with the season finally here, it's time to do it. So let's start with an easy one. What is your confidence level in a Cowboys win on Thursday for the Dallas Cowboys? Let me know down in the comments section. We're going to ask these questions every single day at the end of our video, so make sure you're tuned in all the way through. You can always go and, I guess get to the end, but make sure you're watching all the videos, get to the end so you can answer and be a part of our Cowboys question of the day. We're going to start doing this every single time we have a video. Hopefully, we'll have one every single day, but, sometimes there's other external factors, but we'll get one out, but let me know your confidence level in a win for the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday. 1 being least confident, 10 being most confident. And get down there. I'm responding and liking every single comment I see talking about this, whether it's a 1 or a 10. And you want to get even further? Put why you think that's your confidence level down there as well. That's what we got for you here today on Cowboys Digest. Want to say a quick thank you to everybody who has been subscribing, liking, watching, whatever you're doing on this channel. If you're a part of it, I appreciate you. And we're going to keep going, keep pushing. So, as always, if you are new, hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you next time here on Cowboys Digest, everybody. Peace out.